Hey, everybody, and welcome to another night of Women's World of Fishing Monday Night Takeover. And tonight's going to be a little bit different. I still have to let the feeds get out to all of the different platforms and everything. And I'm actually waiting for somebody that is not Angie to come on the show. I'm not sure exactly when she's going to come in, but I will let you know who that is here in just a minute. So as you can see from the thumbnail, the Lady Bass Anglers Association is actually at Cane River in Louisiana this week. And this is a huge, huge week for them. Unfortunately, I am actually in Kentucky. And my guest is on. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and then I will do the kind of the housekeeping and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and bring her on and introduce her because I don't want to keep her waiting. So let me bring her on. Pam, hello, welcome to the show. Everybody, this is Pam Horn. And she is headed to Cane River tomorrow morning, bright and early, to fish as a pro. Are you ready, Pam?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Well, we're actually gonna talk about that because this is actually all about Cane River. But real quick, I just want to let everybody know that all of the links for the giveaway, they are posted pretty much everywhere. I have it in the chat, up here on the YouTube. I have it all over Facebook. It's on Twitter. I have it on Instagram. So, but if you can't find it, then let me know because I think Angie's got it up there, and this is going to be a giveaway from Big Sexy Baits. And if you do any summertime fishing at all, you want in this giveaway, I promise you. This is the master of finesse fishing right here. So I'm super happy to have him be sponsoring this giveaway. So you can enter right up until 9 p.m. and then we will actually be doing the drawing. It's done computerized, but the drawing will be done right after 9 o'clock when all of the entries are in. So if you haven't entered, go ahead and get in because it's going to be something special. I promise you, you'll be able to use it and you will catch fish. These are my favorite summertime baits. So that's number one. I wanted to remind everybody of that. So another thing that was on the list. So I was saying right before Pam came on here, all the girls are in Louisiana, have this big fishing tournament going on, and I'm super jealous. And I'm sitting here in Kentucky in my office talking to you guys, not in Louisiana fishing like I want to be. But it's kind of bittersweet, but pretty much bitter. I knew that this was going to kind of be on the border for me because I am actually starting a new multiple sclerosis medication. And I knew it was going to be like this no matter when I said this because I haven't really announced it yet. But I finally actually got a valid diagnosis I've been waiting for 6 years. And so in January, when I got the lesion, that's what it was. I got the follow-up scans. And on Saturday, they're coming out to do a first dose observation to start this way overpriced medication. And that's why I'm not going to be at Cane River. So horrible timing. But it's just something that I needed to do. So it sucks, but I'm going to be watching the live view. I'm going to be That's another thing for everybody. You can watch the weigh-in live on the Lady Bass Anglers Association, um, the Facebook page, and Pam, you know me. That's where I'm going to be. I know that
Be there.
weigh in at 3. So I'll sign on to that at about 3:45. But I will be cheering you guys on. I'm super excited because this week is probably, of all the tournaments, the championship's huge, but this week it determines a lot for one tournament, and you're getting ready to head down there. How are you feeling about it?
I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth, but something that came to me earlier this week. I mean, Cane River Lake is not big at all. It's 30 something miles long. It's 100 yards wide at the most. There are no secret holes. There are no creeks you can get back in. And if any other tournament that's going to put us all on equal playing ground, this is it. So this is anybody's ball game. I mean, it's not going to wind up being, anybody that usually always wins, or it may be somebody that's never won a tournament ever. I mean, it's just going to be luck of the draw, and everybody's on the same playing field with this one. That's what I like about it the most.
Really? See, the LBAA has been trying to get to this place for a long time. And I think that they had the real bad storms that we had to cancel. Yeah. And then COVID. And this is the first time now that I think it was 2 years that it was canceled.
Wow.
And so now we're finally getting to go back, or to actually go there. But that's interesting. See, I didn't know that portion, that the entire lake puts everybody equal.
Yeah, you can look on Google Maps, and I mean, what it looks like at the takeoff area is what it looks like 20 miles up the lake or up the river, whatever you want to call it. I call it a river. It's not really a river, but
It looks like a river.
yeah, but it has an end to it. So
Yeah. So you don't think that there's anything special anybody can find?
I think it's going to wind up being finding that one bait that those fish aren't used to seeing. I mean, there's good quality fish in that lake, and they're healthy, but it's not going to be you just going to shut down on a secret hole or anything. I mean, it all looks the same. You got lily pads, you got cattails, you got grass, you got boat docks, and boat docks. So, that's basically all it's going to be. I figure Pam Ridgel's going to play into it very well because of the boat docks and her flipping ability. And I mean, it's Linda Gessner, Frog City down there. I seen a picture of her the other day. She's already scoping out spots on the river now, looking for a frog bite. So
yeah, I don't know. She probably hasn't seen the description, but I think I have in the description something like, people, we all say Gessner when we talk about a frog, and I said, will this be the time that she goes out there and she's like, frog bite, because
I can assure you.
well, I think that could be huge. And, everybody that's starting to post messages and stuff, just as kind of a warning. Well, not warning. Not like telling you what to do, but just for the protection of Pam, since she is an official competitor, nobody can say anything to her specific to Cane River. Nothing about any specific spots, nothing about anything you've done in the past, or just no specific information for Cane River, please. Just because it's one of the official rules, and we just don't want anything to get in the gray area to hurt her for competition. So I just want to throw that out. Sorry, Pam. Usually, I mean, people are really good about it, but just to be on the safe side. Things that are general are okay, but just in case somebody were to type in there to go to mile marker 4, and go to the green dock, I just want to protect you.
I can't see the comments anyway, so
Oh, okay. Well, they could show up pretty much anywhere.
okay.
But yeah, I just don't want anything to get, in the gray area, and I usually do
Well, this is
announce
my
that.
deal. I mean, I get to go see my grandbabies. That's the biggest blessing of all of this tournament. I get to stay with them all week. I'm borrowing my son's boat, so I'll get to spend some time with him. We may actually go to the lake sometime Wednesday, and it's not a confidence thing with me, but it all looks the same. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not going to put my boat in the water just to ride up and down the lake. And I'm definitely
Right.
not going to be throwing a bait, because if I catch a fish Wednesday, that's one fish I won't catch Thursday.
Right.
And I know people have been down there riding up down the lake, and I know there's people been fishing, but those are fish I want Thursday and Friday. So
Hmm.
if I put the boat in the water Thursday or Wednesday, it'll be just to get familiar with the boat and
Hmm.
make sure everything's working properly. And we might
Right.
not even do that till about noon. Just stay out there a few hours with my son and my grandbabies and just wait for the meeting to happen. But it's definitely not anything to do with the confidence level or anything. But I mean, you look on Google Earth and that's what it looks like. I mean, there's not any places on there. You got a few points where there's little creeks that come into it. But other than that, just pick a boat
It's
dock, pick an area where there's coontails or something, and start fishing.
hmm Well, and with you, like when we were messaging back and forth earlier, I mean, every time you put the boat in the water, you should have confidence. I mean, you should never not be confident in your abilities. That's kind of the thing. I mean, no matter what, you're going to put the boat in and you're going to have an idea of what you're going to do no matter what,
And I
you
do.
know.
It's not a lack of confidence. I'm just not a boasting person. I mean, if I got out there and won a tournament, I'd be in tears and squalling and bawling for hours. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I just love fishing, and it's not about winning or losing to me. It's just about that peace that I get when I'm fishing.
Yeah, and I know that you've also said before, though, that it's also partly about the competition.
Oh yeah.
So I with you sometimes it's like, well, it's not really your lack of confidence; it's because of the sticks that you're up against.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And
I fished at Truman. I mean, I prayed every day before that tournament. God, just please don't let me zero. I know that I can fish, but I don't want to go fish against those ladies and zero. And to come
Mhm.
in fourth place under Pam Martin Wells and Pam Ridgel and all those ladies, I mean, that it was a blessing to me. And I mean, it didn't boost my confidence any, but it made me more self confident, I guess. I mean, it let me see that yes, I can compete with the best of them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I mean, from that tournament, because I mean, that was the most atrocious. Honestly, it's the most miserable I have ever been on the water in my life. And I mean, when you came on the stage that day. I mean, you were new. So like we knew you by then, but we didn't know you. We knew you after that. That was just like, hey, everybody, here I am. So that's awesome. And, I don't know anything about Kane, but it sounds like quite a few things could come into play.
Oh,
It's,
definitely.
it's going to be, e- everybody should have a strength
And I
that,
think probably you got to throw out there the heat and the humidity. It's going to be completely different than what anybody is used to. I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure that Noella and all those ladies around that area down there, they're used to it. But don't go down there thinking I'm going to drink some Mountain Dew or Dr. Peppers or anything. Hydrate. Start hydrating now. And just remember, when you're in the boat, don't ice down your water. I mean, it's good to drink cool water, but don't ice down your water and drink it super cold. I've done that before and literally just locked up, because your body's not used to that. When your body's up to around 100 degrees and you're sitting out in the heat and you drink cold water like that, it's just like putting fish from 80 something degree water into 50 degree water. It's going to put you into a shock factor. And we did it some this weekend. Saturday was brutally hot, and I had the water a little bit cooler than I should have. And you could actually, once you drank, you would actually start to feel worse because the water was so cool, and it makes your body have to work harder to
warm up
that middle ground there, because you're putting cool something in on top of something that's really, really hot at the time.
I actually never even thought of that.
Yes, but definitely ice down those fish. Ice them down, ice them down, ice them down.
Well, and yes, you were at the, no, you were not in North Carolina. You were in Texas. At North Carolina, one of my sponsors with New Pro Products, they actually gave away 3 of their V2 ventilation systems. And for the life of me, and this obviously wasn't planned as part of the thing, but I don't understand why they're not on every single bass boat in the country. Have you heard of them?
I have, yes.
I don't understand why they're not. I'm in Kentucky. We have water temps that get up as high as anywhere in the country. And I have not had a fish die since having them on my boat.
Right. This time of year, that's the number one factor, is fish care. We fished a tournament Saturday, and I couldn't tell you how many dead fish there were, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, I never thought about it until I moved to Arkansas, and the club that I fish in is what we call a paper tournament. You actually catch your fish, get it in the boat, you weigh it, you put it on the measuring board, and it gives you a coinciding weight with their length. You mark that down on your piece of paper, and the fish is released. So you're caught and released within 3 minutes, and we don't have to worry about the fish care. But this tournament this weekend, it was dead penalty after dead penalty after dead penalty, and these were guys that had really brand new boats, good filtration systems, good aeration systems. And I have an old boat, a 97 Ranger, but I've learned to do things to circumvent all of that. I put some of the little pool noodles, I cut them up, I lay them on top of the water. That gives them a little extra shade. I should have done it the other day, but I didn't do it. But I always take a towel, wet it down good, and just lay it on top of the live well. I have the bubblers that go in there, and I'm always putting G-juice in there on top of them, and ice. So,
well, and I swear by this ventilation system, and I mean, it made sense to me from the beginning, but it wasn't until I researched one of the things that it does is it actually lets the oxygen or the dioxide out, and the stuff that the fish is letting out, that's the stuff that kills them.
Yep.
And it's actually letting it out on an ongoing basis with the ventilation system. And so honestly, I have not lost a fish, and it's cheap. It was recommended to me by the guy that put my electronics on, because I was going to get one of those. I forget what it was that Secret had on her other boat, but I was going to get something like that, because when I had seen it, I was like, wow, that's really sharp. And, look how good and smooth it takes care of the fish. It's less stress. And he could have jacked me up, to put one of those in. And he was like, I have one on my boat. I don't use it. He's like, I put this in everybody's boat. Wow. And that's what he recommended. And that's what I went with. But for summertime fishing, any way you can take care of fish, any little thing you can do, because it is miserable for them.
It was Saturday, I know.
Yeah. And it's going to be that's one thing consistently the girls have been saying is hot, just every single version.
And ran 2 or 3 times, not really going to a different spot, but just because we needed to cool off. And
Yeah.
that's going to be one of the factors that's not going to happen at Cane River. I mean, you're just going to have to deal with
There's no shade.
no.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I was looking up, like in the pictures, and I'm like, there's literally no shade.
No.
But there will be for Pam Ridgel's bait.
Yeah. And a lot of things, I mean, like you have the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit on there. You're also going to have to be courteous of your other boaters that are on the banks fishing. I mean, if you're putting along and throwing a 2-foot wake behind you, that's not going to help their fishing at all either. So it's not like you can crank up and run somewhere else to cool off. So
Right. Well, and you know, the rule is that you're always responsible for your wake, and you can actually hurt somebody that way.
Yep.
But luckily our girls are good about stuff like that.
Definitely.
Let me see. I took a screenshot of the standings for the pros and the co's because it's going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting. And, you know, you brought up the fish care and those dead fish penalties.
They'll eat you up.
I'll tell you, I know that I don't remember if it was a classic or if it was Angler of the Year. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but somebody ended up losing something major because of a dead fish penalty. Let me see. Before we jump into that real quick, because that's the one big thing is like the Angler of the Year. I mean, you know, it's great to win a tournament, but you know, a lot of people are like, well, anybody can get lucky. Like you even said that with Kane. You know, like if I won a tournament with the LBAA, I would be telling myself for the next 10 years, I just got lucky. You know, like I would tell myself that, even though I don't really believe that it's all about luck. Sometimes it is because I'm 100% a believer in windows. And I think that could come into play. But nobody can dispute Angler of the Year being luck. You know what I mean? Like that's every day we went out, that person figured it out more than the other person. And that's kind of the spicy thing, I think, for this week.
Well, one thing I figured out this week, this little small club that I fish in, I've gone from 38th place to 32nd place to 21st place, and now I'm in 11th place, and I've yet to win a tournament. But it's consistency. And I mean, and I hate to keep using her as an example, but Pam Martin Wells, she didn't win at Hickory. But who's at the top right now?
Right.
And it's all about consistency. I mean, just like Robbie, I mean, she's not out of it because she's been consistent every time. She won this last, but she's been right there every time. Pam Ridgel, she's been consistent every time. And it's not always about winning. It's about being consistent and catching fish.
Yeah, I totally agree. And man, I am probably going to just get reamed for this. I'm just going to get hated on. Maybe not now, but 2 years ago, I used to, even by my friends. But Aaron Martins. I have been a diehard Aaron Martins fan to win the Bassmaster Classic because he's been so close for so many times. And I have always felt like somebody that's that consistent and is that close so many times, like, come on, it's just this time. Like, really, just give him those other couple of pounds. Like, let somebody else miss a fish, help the guy out, you know? But I know that a lot of people also disliked him as much as I liked him, you know, but it absolutely, I totally agree, is about the consistency. And that's one reason why those girls that you mentioned are so tough to beat, you know?
And it's another thing. I mean, watching my brother fish with the elites, I've watched every tournament online. on the TV and everything. And there's a quote, and I put it up on my page from time to time, and I just shared it with Nicole Jacobs this week. When it's not in God's timing, you can't force it. When it is God's timing, you can't stop it. And when you watch those tournaments online and you see them, you just know. I mean, everything falls into their handbook. Everything goes perfect. And you can't stop it. I mean, I don't know that they know while they're out there on the water and they're fishing, but you're sitting there watching them and they're just catching them and catching them and catching them
Right.
and catching them. And nobody can catch up with them. Just like this weekend, that the tables turned, but Steve Kennedy, he started out Friday and did great. I mean, he was just way on up the leaderboard. But who was consistently behind him? Hank Cherry.
Right.
I mean, watching Stephen Kennedy the first day, you'd have thought it's over with, it's done.
It's a runaway.
And you got those guys creeping up underneath him, and they were consistent and they stayed with it. Steve kind of dropped off the second day, and the third day he really dropped off. But Hank was right there, consistent, right behind him. So
yeah. Well, and I mean, I remember like specifically in Texas, walking up to, I think it was Diana Ebelhawk and Cassie Hall after weigh-in on day one. And, you know, we're all co-anglers. And I remember saying to them, you know, we're all fishing for second place because of Sherry Jack's story of her catching that big fish with Pam Ridgel. Remember, she said that her reel broke. They had to hand line it in. It was over a 5-pound fish.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I consistently lose big fish when everything goes right. My line doesn't break. I got a good reel. I got a good rod, and everything goes good, and I still lose it. And here she's got a reel breaking, and she's hand lining it like this, and she nets. They get that fish in the boat. I was like, we're fishing for second place, just because, like you said, like that's just your time. Like that's just your time.
And I mean, I go back and I look at previous tournaments. I watch videos, and I mean, Cheryl Bowden's right there. She's got the experience, and I mean, this may play into her wheelhouse. Secret York, same thing. I mean, they've been in the shadows, but when it's their time to shine, it'll be their time to shine. And I wouldn't count them out of this tournament at all.
You know what? That is a great point. Secret is the one to beat. That's who, if I was a betting woman, that's who I'm going to bet on. You know why? Because I'm not there. And I am her human banana. Like she, you know, she's one of those ones that, you know, like you can't have banana chips on her boat or a banana flavored drink. You know, I don't know about the drink, but she's a no banana on the boat kind of girl. And like I have drawn her a couple of times where, well, one time in Texas, she got really sick and couldn't go out. And I had to go out. I went out with Penny. And then on day 2, when she didn't have me, she's like, oh, I feel great. And came in with like, what, 20 pounds or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you didn't have me. And then, but other tournaments, when she drew me, like her fish weren't there. And then on the other day that she didn't have me, it was the same thing as Texas. It was like her fish just swam away when we were together, and then came back home when we weren't together. And I'm like, I am your human banana. Like you just, you know, so now if she draws me, she's like,
and, you know, it may not be you. We've got guys in our club that have been friends for years, and they go out and fun fish all the time. But when it comes to tournament time and they draw each other, they'll tell you, I'm not going to do good because they don't fish good together. And they say that, each one of them say that about the other one. And I mean, they get along great, but some people just do not fish good together for some reason.
Nah, I totally joke with Secret about it Although now it's kind of like gosh, am I really bad luck for her? Like I do start getting paranoid about it because we always have fun together.
Now you've opened the door. If she does win, guess what?
Oh God. If I'm sitting here on Friday and they're like, Secret York is the winner, I'm going to be
now you're going to get talked about on the stage if she wins.
I'm going to be sitting here in Kentucky like, oh no. Like, oh no. Because she's a co-founder. She can be like, no, Barbara can't come back. Right. Barbara can't come back.
Yeah.
Or Barbara just draw me. No, but we always have so much fun together. And so I just totally joke about, the banana thing with her. And I don't know who got it in North Carolina, but one of the gift bags that I brought for one of the sponsor giveaways, it was a banana bag. And I'm like, oh, this is so secret. But I don't know who got it. But it was just funny. I just love, that's part of the fun of this group is just being able to joke around with everybody and to know that it's all in good fun. I mean, there's nobody that I don't have fun with out on the water. It's just that kind of group, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not rooting against Secret because I love her. Right. Because I love her. So I would never root against her to make myself feel better, because that would just be wrong. But if she does win this, I will be cheering for her. And then I will do some soul searching to find out what's going on as to why I bring her bad luck. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Let's go ahead and see where we are on the Angler of the Year. Oh, it's super close. Oh man. So for the pro anglers, we have Pam Martin Wells is in first. No, that is wrong. That is wrong. Pam Martin Wells is tied with Pam Ridgel.
Yep.
With 590 points, with Martha Goodfellow in third with 545, and then Robbie Hartline is in fourth with 539, and Secret is in fifth with 530. And I mean, I'll tell you that there's really, all the way down to 10th place, all of the points are over 500, all the way down to 10th. So we have Alyssa Johnson, Deanna Laverne, Stephanie Hemphill-Polarin in 8th, Linda Gessner in 9th, and Noella McLaurin in 10th.
And those Louisiana girls, you better not count them out at all.
Right. And those are all ladies that are over 500 points. And Cheryl Bowden, she's just right under 500 points, and you never want to count her out. I don't care where she's out on the list. So yeah, that's going to be close. And, not only that, unfortunately, I never want anybody to win or lose on dead fish penalties, because that's just tough. That's a tough way to win. It's a tough way to lose, but that could be huge in this tournament. For co-anglers, we have first place, we have Diana Ebelhawk. Man, she is tough. If you're listening, Diana, you are just tough. 595. And then we have Sherry Jackson second with 585. Cassie Hall with 570. Dana Raybon, 555. And Penny McCurdy in fifth with 530. And Brooke Johnson just right behind her with 521. You know, so all of the co-anglers are right in that area too. So, and for those of you who don't know, a co-angler their limit is actually only 3 fish. So a co-angler for the LBAA, their limit's not a 5 fish limit like it is in most tournaments. It is just a 3 fish limit. And I know you're thinking like, oh, I could always go out and get a 3 fish limit. All right. Okay. Sure you can. You know, it's tough fishing behind these ladies. You know, they sweep them up pretty good if they're biting, sometimes even when they're not. But I'll tell you, the angler of the year, I don't know. I don't know if I had to bet my house.
I'd opt out on that one.
I am a betting woman, though. That's the thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a silent, some type of pool going here, you know, but I think there's going to be fish that's caught. But I truly think more so than baits, I think it's going to be window.
Yeah. It's gonna
I really do. Over the past couple of years, I've become more of a believer in that than anything, as far as like there's always going to be baits, and is it better to go fast or slow, or what area of the water column, like there's always those factors. But I think you have to have all of that and be in the right place at the right time.
And you look at Deanna Lavorne, that's how she won at Rayburn. And I mean, or did good at Rayburn. And it lit a fire under her. She is tenacious now. She wasn't before, she is now.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know how well you remember the end of day one at Ray Hubbard. Remember, because it was day two that was like, I want to go home. I'm done. But day one, remember, it was a beautiful day. Like we were in shorts and a t-shirt. But the very last half hour, a lot of keepers were caught in that last half hour. A lot of people getting bites, and nobody was in like their spots. Everybody was close to the check-in spot because nobody wanted to be late.
Yeah.
So, but everybody was getting bites, and people were getting bites on stuff that was slow, stuff that was fast. And like, there was a whole bunch of different things being thrown. But I swear that had to have been a window. Yeah. Not all 20 boats of us didn't just happen to, just come upon like a little school of them. Like, I really just think that it was just a window, and several of us got fish at that point. But if I had to guess, I would say that this entire tournament is going to rest on who's around the best fish during certain windows.
Yeah.
Because if you guys start talking, that's the thing, is nobody talks. Nobody catches anything in practice. They ain't biting on nothing.
Yeah.
But people will probably be catching them around the same time.
Yeah. I figure it's probably going to be an early morning. And then about noontime, it's going to be dead. And then probably about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, it's going to pick up for that last hour.
That's what I would say.
Now you're going to catch, there's going to be a couple of big ones caught around noon because I've done it all my life in Louisiana. There's going to be a couple of big ones caught around noon. But other than that, it's going to be a big lull around noontime.
I mean, that's what I would think, and they'll be just, I mean, even outside of the windows, there's going to be fish caught on and off, where you just happen to drop it on one's head or something like that. But I start to think in terms now of, okay, this is where I think the window is going to be. I need to be sitting in my best spot at this time. Like I just think in different terms. But I haven't hardly fished at all this year. Like I fished the 2 LBAA tournaments, and then I fished 2 one-day tournaments close to home. Like I tried to do a 2-day tournament with my local club, and it was like 3 hours away, and I went home and came back in the same day because I was, I just wasn't feeling well. It's just tough for me to do. So I haven't done hardly any of the kind of fishing like I normally do, so I'm a little off my game right now, but I still think about it. Okay, so other than the angle of the year, now Angie's not on here tonight, but I want to mention that our own co-host, who is not here tonight, Angie Scott, the Woman Angler and Adventure, she is actually up for the Professional Rookie of the Year. So she will be in contention for that, and we'll know that by the end of the week too. So that will be decided. She's not here tonight because they were having some issues down there. She has accomplished so much in such a short time between the boat and the camper and everything. And it just seems like things are, like she gets one thing solved and then something else happens, and it just kind of keeps piggybacking off of each other. And so she's just been having a rough time trying to get everything taken care of, trying to fish and, and just doing all that. And, I just keep telling her, this is your get everything straightened out year. Next year is like your year, but she is in contention for the Rookie of the Year. So good luck, Angie. I don't know if you're listening.
All the trouble she's had, she's always got a smile on her face.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, she loves what she does, and she works hard. She advocates for women in fishing, and she's just a really good year for Rookie of the Year is one of the toughest. And I don't know who said that, but it absolutely is. It's consistency for the year, and it's definitely tough. And she works hard, and she kind of works from all angles. The fishing, the marketing, the working in the industry as well. So, she wasn't expecting to not be here tonight, but she just had a lot she had to get done, and and she still has to fish the tournament, and she's trying to get, I think it's something with the camper. I think it's the air conditioner, and it's right. I mean, I was like, you don't need to do the show tonight. Like, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But, so we'll be waiting to see on that. The other thing is the Classic. Who's going to get into the Classic in September? I have never fished Logan Martin. I have heard such wonderful stories about it, but I've never fished it. I would love to fish it. I'm just outside of it. They take 12 for the Angler of the Year points. That's like they have, quite a few different ways that you can get in, and they take the top 12 of the Angler of the Year, so all the way down to 12, and then they will take the Angler of the Year for the pro and the co, and they will have I believe it's a drawing for a pro and a co who did not make it in, who have fished all 3 events. So that's 14. I'm going to have to look back at my phone because I forgot the other one. And the other way is, well, I think that is all of them. Oh, and anybody who has, I think, won a tournament that has not already qualified. And so it's a total of, it looks like it's a 15 spot minimum. Oh, yes, somebody actually just put that in. Thank you, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but you must be somebody with the LBAA because you did not know that off the top of your head. But yes, it is a 15 minute, or I'm sorry, a 15 person limit. So the only way that I would get in would be if somebody ahead of me wasn't able to, fish it or something like that. And if they needed somebody to fill a spot, then I might be able to get into Logan Martin.
Over at Truman, they had 19. So
they what?
They had 19 to fish the classic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's probably about what they would need to get my butt in it.
I'm hopeful. That would mean the world to me. I mean, I'm looking forward to fishing Logan Martin, but to be able to fish that 3rd day, that would be awesome.
You know what? I was wrong. I apologize for that. Somebody said it's the top finished pro angler and co-angler at the Wildcard, not qualified by the Angler of the Year. Okay, got you. So so the first 12 though is by Angler of the Year, and then it's the top finisher of the the pro and co at the Wild Card would be number 13. Yeah, that would make sense. Because okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. Thank you, Facebook user. I wonder who my mystery person is that is being super helpful to me. Thank you. I do really appreciate that. It's probably secret.
I'll have to get a banana emoji, and that might tell you.
Yeah, that's probably what it'll be. God love her. So that's kind of, the thing with the Logan Martin, deal for me. You're going to get in. I mean, there's no way you can't get in.
I'm hopeful.
I just saw you on the list. You're already within the 12. You're just off of it because you didn't fish North Carolina.
Yeah.
You're gonna get in. There's no way that you won't. You get in.
I'm like you. I'm looking forward to it just because of the Logan Martin and the Coosa River. I mean, everybody's heard the Coosa River and the Coosa River spots.
Yep. I mean, I have heard about it for years, just like with bull shoals. Like I'm dying to fish bull shoals one time. And
I love bull shoals. Bull shoals is my favorite.
That's right. It was your pictures I just saw on there with the camo rain suit.
Yep.
And you're up there with like these 3 beast fish. Like,
yep.
Yeah,
that was it.
You guys just don't even understand what real fishing pain is like.
Didn't the Lady Bass Anglers have a tournament over there a couple of years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a tournament for our club that weekend. Because there was a bunch of lady anglers staying at the Sugarloaf Inn right next to where we were staying, and I was oohing and gooing over the Lady Bass Anglers.
Well,
I even seen a couple of them out on the lake that day, and I was like, "That's the Lady Bass Anglers fishing right there."
So why did it take you so long to join?
I don't know.
You have no idea. I gotta get my. Everybody, don't forget, you still have you have 9 minutes to enter the giveaway. And if you are looking for the link, let me know where you're looking for it at.
Yeah, I'll have to send you some pictures for our next tournament in our club. We're fishing the night tournament at Bull Shoals.
Oh my goodness. You all just don't even know. Like when people are like, oh my gosh, I want to come and, fish with you. I'm like, I really hope that you're coming for the company. If you're coming for the fishing, like you're going to be really disappointed because
I'm exactly the opposite. I'm like, I hope you're coming for the fishing because I'm not much company in the boat.
Oh, come on. I would have a blast fishing with you, even if the fishing sucked. Like we would totally have a blast. The fishing would help.
Yes.
Like I'm never going to complain to go out and have a good day on the water. And it would take not a whole lot to impress me. Like you all oh my Lord, you all I don't even know who on the LBAA I could point to. Yes, I do. Lori and Beth, they get it. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They'll be like, oh yeah, the Ohio River. Mm-hmm, yep. Like when we fish tournaments where a 2-pounder will get big fish, and I am not kidding you.
Wow.
I'm really not kidding you. Like I will take pictures of the board where you can see that, and you can see all these names, and it'll be like, oh, they brought in 2 fish, oh, they brought in 3, they had big fish but nothing to go with it. I last year during the COVID stuff, when it was first starting and they shut down the men's tour and stuff, or they delayed it for a little bit. Well, Bill Lowen, I'm in his neck of the woods. And so he was home not doing anything. And he's like, oh, well, I'll go fish my old stomping grounds. And so he showed up at our Thursday night tournament. Okay, this is like a 4-hour, Thursday night tournament. And I'm like, what? Are you really? Now, granted, I mean, I lost to Bill Lowen. I mean, who cares? I lost to Bill Lowen. But he only had I think 7 pounds that night, So it was our fishing can be that bad around here.
I lose to his Express team member a lot, but I also beat his Express team member sometimes too.
Really? Who's his team member?
Harvey Horn.
Oh, they're teammates, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good. You should beat him every time. Don't.
I try to. I mean, we're really competitive against each other, believe me.
Oh, I would bet you should be. Fancy pants. Yay, y'all come down to Alabama. Oh, we're coming.
We're coming.
September 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Yep.
Let me see. Oh, Richard, I'm sorry. I just saw your question. Yes, it is. Cane River in Louisiana. Yep, Fancy Pants. We will be in Alabama at the end of September. Well, mid to late December.
I do have to say this before I forget about it, but I think it was Rhonda Ashby and Noella and maybe Penny and a couple other ones. They had a tournament on Caney Lake not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the descriptions of the lake was that the state record was caught out of that lake with a 1594. And that guy might just happen to show up at one of the weigh-ins Thursday and Friday. And he just might happen to be my daughter-in-law's dad. So they can be looking for Mr. Greg Wiggins to shake a hand with him Thursday and Friday. So
what? At this tournament?
Yes.
Or the one in September?
No, this one coming up. He lives right behind my son, so
I missed everything.
I kind of hinted to my daughter-in-law the other day that he might want to show up. Somebody might want to meet him. She's like, "Oh, that'd be cool." So he might be there.
Awesome. We love people showing up to weigh-ins and stuff like that, and well, I'm not going to be at this, but we need to like, get pictures with them and post them up. I mean, to have somebody like that,
yes,
at our weigh-ins and stuff,
humble as the day is long. I mean, to sit there and talk to him, you would never ever know it.
What do you get it on?
I want to say it was a big worm, but I'm not positive on that.
If he doesn't have it on camera, I'm going to say he's lying.
He's got pictures of it. He does do that.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't have it on film, if he doesn't have the catch on film showing what he had
caught during a time where there was no way to film.
Oh, okay. Well,
tiny, so yeah.
Well, then I guess I can't really call him a liar, but he probably stretched the truth a little.
Well, the fish that he caught actually lived in the tank in the marina there for a long time, and he actually named the fish Heather after his daughter. So,
oh, yeah, like me and my dad joke all the time, like, yeah, everybody, stretches the truth or, whatever. Everybody lies. He says, everybody lies but me and you. And I'm not so sure about you, or, some joke like that. And because fishermen have such bad reputations.
I may pick around stretch the truth, but I'm a horrible liar. I used to be really good at it, but I'm a horrible liar now.
Well, the thing that gets me, like, I get like during like official, practice and in the middle of the tournaments, like being vague or, whatever. I don't understand the not wanting to share information when the tournament's done.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I don't understand. And a lot of like other tournaments, like not my local club tournaments, but me and my dad had fished some like bigger tournaments, like that were open tournaments where people wouldn't tell you anything, and I'm like, I'm just trying to learn. I'm not trying to like steal up all your fish. Like, I just want to like put it up here.
And that's the good thing about around here. I mean, we have Beaver Lake that's probably 30, 45 minutes from my house, and it changes from day to day. And like Saturday, we had a tournament out there, and I hadn't been out there in probably a month. Yeah, a month, because I'm fishing 2 different trails on Beaver Lake. And you can reach out to a handful of people, 15 people, and they're honest with you. That's the good thing about around here, and the people that you talk to and the people you reach out to, they'll be honest with you. And I think part of that is, I can tell you, I was throwing a black crankbait with a chartreuse belly, and I was throwing it around brush, and you can go out there and do the same thing and never catch a fish.
Right.
And I think that's one reason that they're so open about sharing information, is because what works on beaver today is not going to work tomorrow. I can assure you of that. It
Right.
changes that much.
Well, and I mean, obviously with what I do, here and on other things that I have my little paws in, like I share what little information I do have, and I love to take it in where I can learn it. And I'm all about educating anywhere that I can, like it, especially with women. Like I legitimately want to help grow the sport. And that's why it's hard for me to wrap my head around we can't tell anybody about this.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like foreign to me whenever I, find something that I really like, or like I'm legitimately happy to share it with my friends, except for the other co-anglers with the LBAA, like Diana Ebelhoff, Hall, and all those people that whoop my butt all the time.
And that's the thing. I mean, those kind of things go a long way. And even the other little gestures. A while back, we had a tournament on, I want to say it was Table Rock. And we'd fished up there a few weeks before. And I met this young guy he fished the tournament, and him and his partner ended up winning. And I was like, oh, wow, he's pretty good. So I reached out to him and asked him, hey, would you mind sharing a few pointers? And he's like, yeah, only if I can ask you a question. I was like, absolutely. He said, do you remember about 6 or 7 years ago when you loaned your boat to 2 high schoolers in Louisiana when their boat broke down? I said, yes, I do. He said, I was one of those kids. Anytime you need any advice on any kind of fishing, anywhere, you let me know, and I'm there.
Oh, see, it always comes around.
Absolutely.
I have been in situations on the water in a boat where somebody's helped me out, and they've just been like, pay it forward. And so I always try to do that if I can help, whether it's jumping somebody or checking on them or, whatever the situation is. And that's one thing about our sport, is that people are always willing to help. And that's
absolutely, definitely.
And that's good.
I know I've been on the lake with H, and he's got a big express boat, H3 Fishing Express, Hummingbird, big bites, everything on a wrap boat, and people be having difficulty loading their boats. He'll get out of the boat and go help them. We've towed people on Table Rock before, and they're like, well, let me give you some money. And he's like, nope, just make sure you help out the next person.
Yep. And that's, I think it's just something in the industry. You hear about people at hotels where they've had their fishing stuff stolen overnight, and then other people, that they're competing against are like, well, here, I can give you a rod and a reel. Somebody else give them a rod and reel, and they're digging, letting them take baits and stuff so that they can still go out and compete, since all their gear was stolen. Yep. It's just, it's amazing. I don't know what makes fishermen so strange, but we are. Okay, so if you don't have your entry in, then you aren't up to win. So I'm getting ready to do the drawing. It's computerized, but really quick, if you have not checked out Big Sexy Baits, you should. Because this company, even though it's Big Sexy Baits, they specialize in finesse baits. And this is what I mean. Like Ned Rig, Nico Rig, I can never do that. Yeah. Oh, there's one of my hairs. Custom, any color you want. This is perfect. I actually Nico rigged this and Ned rig it. I like this in like a green. This is my second favorite color. I think it's an Alabama color. I don't have, oh no, this is called the Skagit Crawl, but just super, super small. This is one of my favorite drop shots, and it's actually a trout worm. Because he actually lives in Washington State. I mean, and you can, do this on Ned or Ned rig, any of that. I mean, it's super, super small. And then it's just got that little floating tail right there that's flat. And this one's a 3-inch trout worm. And then the other one that I like for the drop shot is the 4-inch steelhead worm. It says the earthworm color. This is my guy for the summertime. And the, where'd it go? Oh, you better be glad that Pam didn't get a hold of none of this stuff, because this is the stuff she'd skip. Everybody that's into the Cincos, I'm not putting down another company. I'm really not, because I don't do that. I just can't afford them. But this is another great Cinco style bait that he makes in multiple other colors. And if you want something with a little bit more action, this one has ridges.
Yeah.
And these are amazing. And this is the last one I'm going to show, is his Nico Pro. Because this one is deadly because of this tail. If you look at this tail, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but it's got this bubble. And so when it literally stands right up on its head. I think I have a video of it somewhere on my personal YouTube, but it literally will stand straight up like this. On my YouTube channel, I had a pack of these in white and did a video on them. So those of you that I'm telling you, if you like to finesse fish, this is your guy. So he's the one that's sponsoring this giveaway, and I don't even know what he's sending me yet. So he's putting together a package. He sent it out this morning to me. And as soon as I get a hold of it, I will be sending it to the winner. Let's see who it is. Okay, this is nazimus@gmail.com. I have no idea who that is. There is not a picture. So, if you could send me a message and let me know. You can send me a private message or email me at womensworldofishing@gmail.com. If something happens this was a verified address. If I don't hear from this person, then I will actually put up another link to do this again. To do the giveaway again, just another short one. Or I'll remove it Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll remove it and do a redraw. But I'm going to give this person 24 hours to get in contact with me, and then we'll go from there. But if this is Nazibus, if you could let me know, send me your address, and I will get the package out to you. And Pam, I'm really hoping that you do good at this tournament. I want you to get into the Classic. I want you to do good, be safe, because it's going to be super hot. I'm super sad I'm not going to be there. I wanted to come so bad. I just can't. I just can't make it work. I even thought about coming in last minute and going as a boater, and I went back and forth, and I can't make that decision. I mean, I'm afraid that I don't know. I don't want a co-angler to go all the way to Louisiana and then me be laying up in the room, and so this is the best decision for me, but I wish I was there.
I know it was a hard decision to make, but I have no doubt you'll be bouncing back in no time. You have the tenacity to do it. You have the passion to do it. So you hang in there and you get better, and we'll be looking for you at the Coosa River, Logan Martin.
I don't know. We'll see. But I will be watching you ladies live and doing shout outs, and everybody, again, the Lady Bass Anglers Association live on Facebook. I would say start looking anywhere from 3:45, 3:30, 3:45. They usually get started. And that'll be Thursday and Friday of this week. And we'll see what this week has to offer. We have the Professional Rookie of the Year, the Who Gets Into the Lady Bass Anglers Classic, and Angler of the Year. So
it'll be a fun one.
Will you be careful on your trip down there, and tell everybody that I said hi, that I missed them, I love them.
I will. Thank you for the opportunity tonight, and I wish all the ladies good luck this week. But I'm going to have fun one way or another. I get so
absolutely
much fun, so
I was going to say you hug them grandbabies and give them kisses. And when you get down there, just have fun and enjoy it, because honestly, you're ahead of the game if you're doing that. Have a good time and do your thing. And I'm going to have you back on here again.
You do that. I'll be glad to.
I definitely will. So have a good time, okay?
You too.
Okay. Bye, everybody.